Hey everybody, this is Sean from We Speak You Listen. Quick instant analysis for the Cowboys' 24-22 win tonight in the NFC wildcard game over Seattle. Crazy game, back and forth. Both teams played great defense, hard-nosed hitting. Refs let them play mostly. Couple of calls that were interesting. The one against both teams. Pass interferences that were called, weren't called. But overall, I thought it was a let them play type of game, and both teams played pretty well, and it was a down to the end type of situation that either team could have won that game. Wilson made some unbelievable throws that were just crushing, like the fourth down, 22-yard pass to Baldwin. The game would have almost been over at that point if they didn't turn that crazy throw into a first down. But they converted that one. He made a couple of unbelievable throws to Lockett. The touchdown throw that he had there with a minute left was unbelievable. 4th and 5, right at only place he could throw it, that it would have been 6, and he made the throw. So he had a really good game. I think they underutilized him a little bit, same like the Cowboys kind of did with the way that they called the pass plays. They weren't, the greatest routes and the greatest times of the game. Just both teams' play calling was a little spotty, but I thought that the Cowboys always is. If you're a Cowboys fan, Scott Linehan is terrible. Scott Linehan should be fired. Hopefully is fired. I know, they won a playoff game now. Maybe they play well next week. But the guy is terrible. The game plans are always repetitive. They have the best running back in the world. They have a good quarterback. They have a great wide receiver, a couple other good wide receivers, and a great offensive line. They should score a lot more than whatever it is that they averaged this year, probably 22, 23 points a game. And the stat is that they were 9-0 this year when they score 20, and 2-6 when they don't score 20. So, when they got over that 20-point mark, they're going to do pretty well. They're going to have to score in LA, in New Orleans. If they do end up going to Chicago down the road, whoever they play in these next 3 games, they're going to have to score a lot more points to win. But, it's on to the next one. It's, you win and survive type of thing. It wasn't pretty. They could have scored 30 tonight easily, but they gave some points away here and there. Going for that field goal, the first half was just battle of wills. Prayers for Allen Hurns. Hopefully his ankle isn't, that bad, and he's able to recover quickly and get healthy and come back into the league, because that was scary there. But basically, when you go for a 58-yard field goal with 3 minutes left, you're giving the other team points. They got lucky, unbelievably lucky, that they were able to, in my mind, I said they have 2 timeouts. They got to get at least a field goal back, make it 6-6 at the break. Zeke breaks off a 44-yarder. They have some good plays down there. The throw to Gallup in the corner was great. His best pass of the night is 11-yard, but it was right in the money. The defender could do nothing. And, that play really set up the second half. Even though they gave the lead back, Seattle made that unbelievable 4th down conversion. They score the touchdown. They get the 2 right up the middle. They're at 14-10. I don't know why, but I'm never confident. But on that drive after they scored, I was confident that the Cowboys would come down and take the lead back. Now, I didn't know what would happen after that, but I was confident that drive they were going to come down and score. They did. They took the lead 17-14. And just some penalties, some misplays. The interception by KJ Wright that should have been pass interference, but it was a terrible play call. The play call is ridiculous. To me, the play call is one of 2 things. Fake out and straight over the middle to Cooper, because you're at the 16-yard line. You get a first down at the 1.5, or you can score a touchdown. It's second down. 2nd down and 15 at the 16-yard line. Throw a 12-yard in for Cooper, so if he catches it, it's at least 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, if not a touchdown right there. That would be play 1. The other play that possibly could have been a good option there would have been faking it to Zeke and then running out and then dropping it off to Jarwin, or throwing it up to Jarwin even against a linebacker probably. The play call that they had would have been better if it was to Jarwin too. Noah Brown is not known for his hands. He's not as big as Jarwin, and the guy was all over him. And they let the ball get tipped and it was intercepted. Nice play there. But then the Cowboys were able to get 2 penalties called, get the false starts, push them back, get them to punt after the 3rd and 20. That time wasn't converted. They just dumped it off. There's like 7 minutes left or 6 minutes left. They punt it away, and the Cowboys are up by 3, getting the ball back. Then they get the pass interference on what could have been a 3 and out, but they get a pass interference on KJ Wright, which was, to me, immediately watching it was a makeup call. But, you know, he was there early again. But even if it's caught, even if he catches it, I don't think Gallup, unless he didn't dive, he was going to be short. You know, even if he beat Wright by a step, he would have been short, it looked like. So that play call wasn't great. But, you know, they figured out a way to get that first down off of that penalty. The play to Beasley on the 3rd down was a ridiculous route. Like, the guy is known to go over the middle. He has a bad ankle, and you're throwing a hitch and go and one-on-one coverage on the outside. You need 7 yards or whatever it was, and you're looking for a 10-yard, 15-yard completion in the air down the sideline where you have the boundary as a second defender. The play was ridiculous. It should have been either Beasley or Cooper over the middle, or Jarwin or something. To throw that type of pass was ridiculous. I don't know if that was his first read or he just saw a mismatch or whatever, but that deciding to throw that ball there was ridiculous. But they got bailed out. They got on the field. He made some great runs. I got to say, Dak. Dak always runs well. You know, he fumbles when he gets sacked. When he's running either straight ahead or on the corners, he protects the ball pretty well. He'll get down. He'll get in the end zone. He'll get first down yardage. He'll slide. He, you know, helicoptered over, was down at the half-yard line. Live, it looked like it could have been a touchdown, but it was short. And then the next play, he ran it in. I thought they'd give it to Zeke or maybe the fullback because it was, you know, 1st and goal, so maybe waste some time there. But they get it in. They get up 10. You know, I told myself, you know what, Lockett's going to get a 70-yard touchdown here, and they're going to have a chance for an onside kick. He got a 55-yard touchdown, and then they scored a touchdown on the 4th down play later, but... you know, so it was just so obvious that when they needed the big pass, they were able to shoot for it. They made most of them. The ones they missed would have been the difference in the game. The Cowboys would have lost this game where they badly outplayed them if they hit a couple of more passes, either where they had the opportunities and they didn't get it. They went with the run, or they went with a screen, or they went with a bubble, or they went with something small. They had an opportunity of a one-on-one, or they had a safety out of position and they didn't go for it, or it was just a missed throw or whatever. There was a couple of those, but not many. Wilson played pretty well. It was really the play calls on Seattle's part, I think. But, you know, the Cowboys were able to easily secure the onside kick. Janikowski was hurt. That was a big thing in the second half. Would have been a little difference to the game. I still think the Cowboys probably would have won the game because Janikowski is not known for his onside kicks. He's not an incredibly great kicker at this point anyway. He's older. So, you know, I think they would have been only up 13-10. They wouldn't have won for 2. They would have been only up 13-10. That could have made the Cowboys drive a little different when they scored the touchdown, only needing 3. Who knows? But they went up 3. The Cowboys came down, scored a touchdown, and ended up going up 17-14, and then eventually 24-14. But when they got the onside kick, they ran, you know, walked off the clock, and, you know, Garrett and Linehan are abysmal. I despise both of them. But I hope nothing more than they keep winning this year because I'm a Cowboys fan through and through. But those 2 guys, I really don't think will ever go all the way. Something will happen. But this game, really, they got the benefit of a couple of calls in big spots. You know, they made some plays when they needed to. And things that don't go their way usually if you watch, especially the playoff games, the Green Bay games, the Giants games in the past, things that would have gone against them tonight didn't hurt them, and they were able to get through against a good opponent. You know, Seattle has some injuries, has some players missing, but they played better this year, as the Cowboys have, than expected coming in. They got to 10-6, they got to the playoffs. There's hard-nosed defense. They're smart, they're strong. Wilson's a great quarterback. They have 2 good running backs, 3 good running backs, really. And, you know, so this is a good win. On to the next one. And it's going to be L.A. if the Eagles win and they go to New Orleans, if the Bears win. That game tomorrow could go either way. I think the Bears are probably going to win a close one. And so the Cowboys would then be the lowest remaining seed, and they would go to New Orleans in that spot. They're going to have to win in New Orleans either way, either this week or next week. I think New Orleans is going to host the NFC Championship game. So you're either playing them this week or playing them next week. Any of these 5 teams in the NFC could win it. I said the Eagles slightly. The 2 that had buys, definitely. The Bears, definitely. And the Cowboys, slightly. But any of these 5 could win the conference. It's just going to be interesting of the matchups and how they end up next week. it would either be prime time again Saturday night or 4:30 again on Sunday. The NFC is the better conference, deeper conference, so they're getting the later, better time slot games for the country to watch, as it should be. So thank you for watching. Cowboys get through. It was a nail biter. It was anguishing in that second half, but they did it. They move on to 11-6 for the year. They move on to the divisional playoffs. Really, other than that Detroit game, this is the biggest playoff win. The only playoff win they've had recently. They've been 1 seeds in the last couple of last 8 years. They've been 1 seed twice and lost the first game. But that one game that Roma won, they won against Detroit, and then the next week they went in and embarrassed themselves against Minnesota in the second round. That was their last playoff win before this one. So like this video, subscribe, share, give me some comments. You're a Cowboys fan, who you rooting for, who you think's going to win it all. What's it going to take for the Cowboys to win? Obviously, limit the turnovers is the number one. Another interception in the end zone tonight. It's either fumbles in the red zone or interceptions in the end zone. That's the Cowboy turnovers this year, and they can't do that either of these 3 places that they go on the road, or even if they end up playing the Eagles at home again. They can't have those red zone turnovers like that. But like, subscribe. My Instagram is Cop the Pop. We're on Facebook. We Speak You Listen on Facebook. Follow that page. A lot of interesting, fun things coming up on the page. Some movie reviews in the coming weeks. We're going to go to our first 2019 movie soon. So be on the lookout for all those reviews. Thank you, and have a great night.